I might have been 14 or 15 at the time. I was still working periodically for Swanee as far as delivering. And this particular Friday night, I remember I got the Swanees and went in, and I noticed there's a paper stand right out in front of Swanees right there. And there's a little blind fellow by the name of Al. Always there. I mean, I don't recall him never being there. I mean, he was there all the time. So he wasn't there that night. I thought, boy, that's kind of strange. Is he sick? Is he hurt? What? So I inquired. I got no response. Then also I remembered the fact of this gentleman inside the drugstore, and he was wearing a white schmuck. And again, he, who's this? No response. Well, later on that evening, I was standing up in front of in the front part of the store behind the cigarette and cigars case and everything, and I'm looking out, and all of a sudden I hear all this noise and commotion and everything. I'm trying to, I have no idea what's going on, and I don't know, it was kind of odd. And all of a sudden I hear gunshots, and this guy right in front of the store is falls into the gutter and everything else. Police all over the place. This officer, he wasn't in uniform. And he ran up, and I remember I'm looking over the case, and I'm looking out the front door, and he puts a gun to the guy's head, and he just empties it. I find out later on that they tried to set it up and tell the story as if it was Dillinger. And the story is that this is the cop killer, and they knew he was going to be in the area, and he was supposedly going to be coming out of the Kalo Theater with a woman in red, and that's why they said it was Dillinger and all of that. Well, they had, as I remember and was told, there were policemen that were taking buses back and forth in the area, back and forth. Across the street and on the second floor, there was a bowling alley, and they had these big, huge windows that would open out onto the street. Well, from up there was a guy in a Tommy gun, and he was shooting down at this guy. They were shooting from all angles and everything else. I remember later on that night when I got off and that, Al's paper stand, lucky he wasn't there. It had holes all over the thing. It looked like Swiss cheese. Up and down the street, there were many businesses. Their windows had holes in them and everything else. And as I remember, one person down the block south of Swanee's there was hit by a stray bullet. Not hurt or anything else, but he was the only other party that was hit. One of the bullets actually came through our front door, went through the cigarette and counter and that, and was spent and fell at my feet.
My goodness, how did you feel at the time?
I didn't have any feeling because I didn't know what took place. I was completely in awe, and that afterwards I was kind of woo.
Do you know what happened to that shell?
Yeah, I had it for many years.
Do you still have it?
No, I many years ago I got rid of it, but yeah, I don't know if it was from the police or it was him or what. All I know is that it made nice little holes. I mean, it did. In the movies you see everything shattering, and this wasn't the case. It had a nice little hole in the front window, and then through the cigarette case and all of that. I really didn't know it transpired until this guy fell in
In the
the
street.
gutter right in front of
Because
the
it all
store.
happened so quickly.
Yeah, well, I just heard all this commotion and everything else. I'm still trying to, what's going on? And that actually, after it was all over, then I finally, oh, this guy was a policeman in the store.
Mhm.
Al wasn't there because they knew something was up and all of that. But as I say, at the time, it was very confusing.
Quite a remarkable story, Howard.
Oh,
Quite a
yeah,
remarkable
really.
story.